SeeJeanty, Chris Jeanty of SeeJeanty. Good morning. Welcome. Right? Sunday morning. We're here. Oh, God has given us breath to see one more. We got to thank Him for that, for sure. And if you're watching this, God has given you eyes to watch, ears to listen, and a brain to ponder. So certainly let's start off by thanking Him first and foremost. We have a really good show ahead of us today. We got some really critical big updates we want to dive right into, talk about, dissect, right? And really explore, right? In addition, of course, to what we always do here, which is it's a conversation. I'm certainly looking forward to going on some divergent topics, especially, since well, we don't know how quickly things will be different, but certainly there's going to be a difference, right? And I think if we follow what happened in the beginning of prior deployment, there were opportunities for the diaspora to come back and set up shop, right? And so we're gonna be talking about thinking about what sort of opportunities exist, right? And to make sure from the beginning folks can capitalize and ensure that they can get rooted in the system, and hopefully when this force leaves in how many years? Of course, they say 1 year, but we'll see if that really is the case. But when they actually leave again, how we can ensure that the derailment of the country's security situation doesn't fall to where it is. And we really do have that capacity and power, believe it or not, because we are at this spot because the previous guard of elites had no regard for the country as a whole and got us to where it's at. So really the goal is, how can you guys watching get as quickly as possible to the level of elite and hopefully, and not hopefully, actually do the right thing, right? So we're going to talk about that, and that's really the important parcel of a big part of our main conversation we're going to have today. Per usual, we are going to go ahead and I got some stuff I got to do in the background to get the show good, ready, and going. But I do want you guys to use this opportunity to go ahead and get yourself a bit of coffee. Get me on the big screen on the TV, right? Share the stream. We're gonna have a really good conversation. You know what we do here, guys. Come on. You know what we do. You know why you watch. This sort of conversation analysis. We don't get anywhere else, and it's a pleasure that you guys give me the opportunity to do a very important service, right? And so, without further much ado, let me get back to it so we can jump right to the meat and potatoes of what we got going on today. Let me go ahead and make sure that sound is working. I had some issues in the beginning last time. Just want to make sure it doesn't occur again. Okay, no, we should be all right. All right, see you guys in a bit. We are back. We are back. Yes, yes, we are. Good morning. Good morning. Drop a comment as you guys pile in. Do drop a comment. We got lots to talk about. We have the updates on the canal, updates on the Kenyan force. Updates on strategies to ensure what you guys this upcoming period, how you can take most advantage of it. Of course, we're reading comments, questions, concerns today. So make sure you pile in on this 8th of October. Listen, I just, again, as I was saying right before, I had to break it, just we're happy to be here, happy to, have the capacity to talk and speak and be here, be part of the fight. The struggle continues. And of course, you guys who make SeeJeanty channel what it is, I promise you we have easily the most proactive community in all of the interwebs. I promise you that already. For example, we've raised a few thousand already from the Canal. Shared the info. I'm going to reshare it again in just a little bit here for FOI, and of course more info is coming on that. We dropped a first interview for a part of the interview on the channel. We're going to be just sending out pieces of that interview. Well, the full interview I'm going to drop on IGTV. Anywhere I can actually drop that full, 10-minute-ish interview we've had so far, or at least the recut, because it was a much longer conversation that it lasted over an hour. So we're going to be dropping that just so you guys get a sense of it. And then we have the proper video upcoming this week as well that really breaks down the situation and drives that analysis a bit further. But we have a great show ahead of us. Again, I want to say what's up. We got Alberta in the house. What's up? We got Don Dazer in the house. We got Regina Jim Bart. We got Paris London Branch. What's up? What's up? Good morning. Just so we can jump right into the meat and potatoes of this conversation episode. I'm going to get rid of the top of the hour stuff we always must do on the channel, which of course nécessite que nous changer langue pour 6 minutes pour une minute pour nous toujours comprendre que respect pour créole là. OK, simplement nous avons une mission là qui est devant nous, qui est important, qui veut dire que nous voulons partager données, OK, fichiers, etc. dans un langage international pour le monde à la monde qui comprendre situation, OK, et réaliser que c'est monde nous, OK, parce qu'il y a plus fois que non c'est mal compréhension yo, et plus fois que non c'est Fox News, CNN, Mami Era, tout ce côté ça qui met un narrative, c'est que c'est si monde nous nous pas mettre tête nous. Enfin, yo mettez au niveau des narratives qui pas dépasser au niveau primaire. Est-ce que vous comprenez? Mais nous-mêmes, nous là, dans l'espace ça, pour dire que c'est pas vrai. Nous là, pour nous dire, pour nous expliquer que tout niveau des complications qui existent de l'autre côté existent ici. Et seul chemin pour avancer là, c'est le même chemin qui a avancé au lac. Un chemin économique, un chemin collaboratif, un chemin indépendance et qui doit exister et pour nous, même gens qui existaient de l'autre côté. So, c'est ça la narrative là et bien sûr les guides haïtiens qui a là qui a on est tellement parlé vite et nous pas comprendre, excusez-moi, désolé, mais faut qu'on écoute ça pour que sur ça sorti pas dans sur radio qui existait dans le pays nous dans moment qui créole là pas radio pile moun à niveau pas mettre valeur dans langage nous langage qui est 100% haïtien parlé. OK, son seul petit pourcentage parle français, Mwen se gen plis moun ki parle anglais jodi a la, men toujou men bagay la, on ti pourcentage ki parle. Mwen ka djou, sa va soti nan bo pa nou, mwen grandi comme ça kote mwen gen yon mba ekor la yon infériorité, c'est parce comme ça liye même dit tout. Mais simplement nous avons une mission qui diffère là. Et éventuellement, toujours dit, là on commence à faire ça, à faire là. On est bien content pour construire tout choix en créole. Mais pour aujourd'hui, à Kounia, il va y changer. Faut nous bailler information, faut nous bailler données, faut nous bailler exposition sur nous dans le langage international. Est-ce que nous êtes d'accord avec moi? Et j'aime dire, nous avons plus le côté créole que aujourd'hui, nous avons joué une bonne information, une bonne exposition. C'est pas qui nous manquait, mais franchement, nous vraiment manqué ça dans l'anglais. C'est bon, c'est la bonne vérité. Okay. Per usual, just want to give a top of the hour salute to our language, our mother tongue, Creole, and explain why we do this in English. Remember, respect. There is no inferiority complex here when it comes to our mother language of Creole. We just have a mission to provide information in a larger international context, and we have to use a larger international language to do it appropriately, per my perspective of it. But we could hold on to the Creole. We could do it. Am I low-key flexing on my Creole? Perhaps I am. You won't know. But the core of it is we got number respect for Creole. We do it in English just so we can control our narrative on a much larger scene. Per usual, those who are interested in a lot of the products that we sell, I'm going to go ahead and drop the Amazon link. You guys can go, feel free and take a look. You can see right behind me there. We have Jeanty, high quality, high grade Jeanty from Haiti, one of our top sellers. Barely keep these on the shelves. Big mover. We got our Haitian cassava. I am still working on trying to find the right producers who can get this to me in quality and quantity and without losing quality, because we really can't keep this on the shelves. I mean, it's, I have a lot of, retailers, wholesalers that are mad at me that I can't get this to them in the quantity that they can. It's a good problem to have, but it's a frustrating problem to have because we're leaving money on the table. But we're working on it. I'm telling you, we're working on it. And in fact, in the new year, with me being in Haiti more often, one of the big priorities certainly is to greatly increase the capacity of what we have here. And again, we're supposed to be working with some producers that are going to be helping us very soon. They're working on getting back online. The insecurity has made it pretty difficult on them, understandably. And so we're being patient. One thing Haiti has taught me, and one thing Haiti will teach you, is the necessity to learn patience. And so patient we are, right? Boule de chocolat, big favorite, especially winter's coming. Sound like I'm doing, Game of Thrones. Winter is coming. Boule de chocolat, you can get it right now online. Keep you nice and warm. And of course, the DHLA, folks are really telling me they're loving this. They one cooking of this here, they can tell it's the real deal. They're telling me it's really coming out of Lati Bonit, because it is, right? It has that real earthy taste that only our DHLA can provide, right? And it's available right now. 4-pound bag. It's a 4-pound bag. It's available right now on Amazon, right? Put this back here. I think I need to have 2 versions. Yeah, I can just pull them up and not mess with this. I think I'm work on that. Work on having 2 versions so I can just leave these up. That's a great idea, Chris. You should have thought of that sooner. We'll work on that. All right, there we go. That should do it. Okay. So I just dropped the link. Do check it out. Support what we got going on here. And again, all of these coming out of Haiti. We're working with producers in Haiti, and as much as we are appreciating what the movement with the Canal, we have a long-term mission here at SeeJeanty to do real impact, not just do media. Have no intention or desire to be a media personality. First and foremost, I'm a businessman impacting my country, and we're going to always stick to that primary pace and and tempo forever and ever and ever. For everything else, you can go to SeeJeanty.com/shop. There you'll find even this book here, 100 Ways to Make Money in Haiti, because it's not for me to become well off, it's for our country to become well off, and you individuals to be part of that, right? And so that book has a lot of really good juicy stuff for you to leverage and utilize, and it's available on Amazon right now. So do check it out. Do buy your copy if you haven't done so already. Those looking to be part of the the community well beyond when the stream is online, do consider SeeJeanty.com/private WhatsApp group. It's as it sounds like, a private WhatsApp group where we have community members, and we're always 24/7 talking Haiti, chopping up Haiti, different perspectives. Not everyone agrees. That's fine. That's fine. We have folks who lean very left. We have folks who lean very right. We're respectful in that space. In addition to the conversations we have, it's a place for folks to leverage each other, leverage connections, and I'm in there, always providing what I can. And what's so great about it is those who really want to assist with what we got going on here for a monthly contribution. It's our Patreon, basically. It allows us to keep the bills running. We got staff in Haiti, and of course, what you're seeing here didn't just magically generate themselves. It took funds to do that, and so it's a quid pro quo where you're getting, we're receiving, and we're growing what we got going on here. So do think about SeeJeanty.com and then private WhatsApp group for IG who are watching right now, right? And of course, hyperdistribution.com. It's just what's on the shirt, right? It's what's allowing over here. It's what's allowing a lot of these products to come out. We have weekly containers supplying a lot of food and beverage and agricultural products out of Haiti currently right now, and it's fantastic to see where we started with the business. Business started with 100% Haitian diaspora funds from folks all over the world. We had investors in New York, Canada, Dubai, Singapore, in Haiti, in Florida, right? And to see where we started and see how we struggled and the team we've built and the work we're doing week in, week out, despite a very difficult environment, both with the security situation and just other macro conditions. For example, the currency has been increasing month over month since April. I think the currency has gained over 30% of its value, which is direct hit to, as an exporter, where you're bringing in USD into Haiti, changing it to the currency to buy products, and you lose effectively 30% of your capacity to gain in the local currency. It's tough. Take my word for it. It's tough. But we find a way. We're finding ways, to push forward, to do what we have to do. And with your support, we'll still be here. So do visit the website, hyperdistribution.com. If you want to become a wholesaler, wherever you may be, and of course the links of all the products we sell. Well, most of the products we sell, there's special lists for for wholesalers. You'll find it. And of course, if you want to reach out, let's talk. Okay. So that's the top of our stuff. At least I forget. Let me redrop right at the beginning the info for our Canal contact for the Canal, Antoine Claude Foy, right? And so right then and there you can see his info. I'll even post it on screen here for those looking to provide. Remember, it's we don't have PayPal, Zelle. It's not a super easy transaction, to get money to Haiti. You have to inconvenience yourself slightly by going to the countless money transfer places in your community, wherever you may be, wherever there's a Western Union. Enter the bank account info. It's Unibank. Oh, sorry, not Unibank. Excuse me, BUH Bank. And entering that info, right, to be able to get whatever your contribution is directly to the masses, to the people directly. That info is right now, currently, if you're watching on IG, it's on my YouTube and Facebook. So do go ahead and check out the stream there, and you'll be able to see it. We've already raised a few thousand already, and hopefully we can keep pushing it. And especially when the episodes drop, we can get right up there with efforts. For example, like Protrude, who was able to raise 100,000 plus. So let's keep pushing and let's keep contributing. There's recent figures out for the Canal that has the Canal. What it needs is somewhere around 800,000 to finish, right? And so we'll get there because we cannot up company, right? So that's top of the hour info and stuff. I think today, I always say this too. I always it's gonna be a short show. It's gonna be a short show. I think I just wanted to pop up here, give some updates, and then give that some sort of directional conversation of how we can take advantage of what's upcoming here, right? And of course, please do drop questions. I will be looking them over. I will be answering them. So this is a great opportunity for anyone who hit me up in the DMs or just had questions and wanted them answered. It's a great opportunity to really go into that for these quote unquote short shows. I do want to yield time back to you guys who watch and just want to gain different insights that I'm sure I've talked about in the past, but perhaps you haven't had a chance to see it or watch it. And so we will be doing that this episode. So make sure you stick around and don't be shy. Drop a comment. We'll get it read. Right. So first and foremost, let's talk about the Kenya. Let's talk about the intervention. Let's talk about the intervention. We did get movement from United Nations. There was a vote that took place just a couple of days ago, right? And the results were for a non-UN led. Okay, so in other words, this isn't MINUSTA or formal UN, right? There's levels to how they intervene, right? Right now, this is again, the simplest term is a non-UN intervention force, right? Where Kenya is going to be the lead point. Had 13 votes, 13 votes in favor, right? With 2 abstains, China and Russia, both abstained. Both had real reservations. Depending on how you view it, you may view it regrettable that they didn't formally say no, right? I think there's been some conversations about what both countries may have gained from not voting no, right? What deals that were made. I guess time will tell if that's the case, right? We don't do speculation here. We do what's info that's verified, right? It's been published, that has sources, right? But there's been some talk. There's been some talk that Russia gained some things that relates to Ukraine. China has gained some guarantees, for down the road things, right? And for example, very, very, very suddenly, right after this vote, we see that China and the Chinese president and the U.S. president are set to meet in an upcoming, I think in California, there's, I think, APEC, whoever's watching this, correct me. And a couple of days after this vote, it was announced that they're going to meet for the first time in a very long time, right? In years, Biden and the Chinese president. So when you see certain things like that line up, right, you can certainly get a sense that, coincidence? Hey, listen, again, we don't do speculation. We don't do speculation here. We stick to the facts. But you make your own decision. So 13 votes in favor, 2 to abstain for China, 2 abstain being China and Russia for the intervention in Kenya. It's supposed to be for 1 year. right? It's a 1-year intervention, though when the foreign minister for Kenya was, God bless him, he is a verbose individual. He has said things such as, "Oh no, this is going to last multiple years. This is going to be a 10,000 strong plus force." You've said these things, publicly. He said how quickly they're looking to, very quickly, within weeks, to be boots on the ground in Haiti, right? Apparently, him speaking so verbosely has discontorted. Big word, discontorted. I'm doing my TI today, making sure I study Webster and bring in big words for use at least once during the day. Disconcerted, right? Many within the infrastructure of this intervention, so much so that this foreign minister is now the tourism minister now. He was relocated as a tourism minister now, right? So thus far, though, officially what's put in published, we know that it's a 1-year mission, okay? And we know that there's 12 countries so far who are going to be part of this, okay? Let's keep up with me, right? You've got Kenya, right? We have Bahamas, okay, that's 2. Kenya, Bahamas. We got Jamaica, that's 3. Okay. We got Antigua and Barbuda, okay, 4. Right, keeping up. We have Italy, okay. Spain, okay. Mongolia. I said Mongolia. Yes, I said Mongolia. Where that country over there? Come way over here. Mongolia. All right. Senegal. Shout out to Senegal. I get some really good Senegalese friends. Good people. Senegal. Belize. All right. Belize. Next door neighbor right there. All right. Suriname. Mm-hmm. Guatemala. And finally Peru, right? In addition to, of course, the United States and Canada participating with funds, resources, material, things of that sort, right? And so the extent of their collaboration, it hasn't been fortified yet. When I say the extent, is it going to be troops? Right? How many troops? If it's going to be troops? So far, Kenya has committed 1,000. Well, let's be clear. Kenya's not calling their contribution, their people, troops. Their police force, right? The police force, special unit in the police force that's composed of different elements. So let's be clear. Let's make sure we're using the right language, at least for what Kenya's providing. It's unclear what other countries are going to provide. If they're going to be actually from their military division, are they also providing special units from their police force? That's yet to be declared, right? Though recently Belize did come out and say they're looking to provide physical support to the intervention force, but then didn't elaborate too much, right? But that's where we are right now, right? Just last week, or the week prior, Kenya signed a formal military agreement with the United States, so they could get assistance, through the most official diplomatic channel for material from the military, particular State Department, to get military gear and equipment in addition to financial support. So, that is, where we are right now, right? Let me do something on the connection here. Okay, that should fix that. All right. And so that's really the big update with Kenya, right? We're hearing ETAs of whereas the foreign minister of Kenya, who was very verbose on what he believed was going to happen, we're hearing things closer to 2 months, right? So today's October, we're hearing something around November for the first bit of deployment. As without surprise, we have, as a guy, I feel he gets way too much airtime. BBQ, Jimmy Sherry Zay. He has said it's going to be very bloody for the force that's coming. He declared, and he's put a stance that they will be fighting them, right? And I'm sure between now and when the deployment happens, they will be doing preparations. I'm sure setting up their areas to be very difficult to navigate. So that's a potential. The longer they wait, the more time they give the gangs to prepare, and that's not a good thing, right? But on a quick tangent though, it's very troubling to me, guys, and it should be troubling to you too, guys. The extent of which that folks have been giving, right? The extent of which folks have been giving Jimmy Sherry Zay as a revolutionary. I think you guys watch enough, especially the what I consider the off-brand InfoWars called, I think that channel's called Redacted, with some guy who says he's somewhere in Haiti and is talking and provides info. I think it's very troubling that they are, and people like him. He's not the first. There's another group of white folks who, God bless them, who are trying to prop up, right, Jimmy Sherry Zay as a revolutionary leader, right? Let's be very clear. I wanted to be crystal clear for a lot of these foreigners. There's a reason why there aren't Haitians calling Jimmy Sherry Zay a revolutionary leader. I want to be very crystal clear here. Jimmy Sherry Zay is a terrorist. Okay, he has massacred on the behalf of his handlers, which at that specific time was, for all intent and purposes, because we have folks, this isn't an accusation. This is something that has had so much evidence that the individuals above Jimmy Sherry Zay, and these are government officials, have been sanctioned. Oh gosh, it's early in the morning. I haven't had enough coffee, but you know what I'm trying to say. They've been penalized, right, by the United States and other actors specifically for their role in, at the time, was the La Saline massacre. Jimmy Sherry was one of the lead soldiers on the ground, killing dozens of women, children, and men in very heinous manners. We're talking hands tied. We're talking burnings. There's accounts of beheadings. We're talking absolutely heinous crimes against humanity. All right, and not just once, but multiple times. I want to be very clear. I personally have been affected by Jimmy Sherry Zay. When I moved back to Haiti in 2017, there was a individual. I want to say his name just out of respect for his family, right? Older gentleman, had to be in his 60s, right? And this guy was, for a long time, someone who functioned as a carrier / driver for my extended family, right? I have cousins, right? And when I first moved to Haiti in 2017, I lived basically next door. It was a townhouse that was recently built by a cousin of mine, and just great timing. I was able to move into that spot, and that's where I resided, right? And that cousin had a driver slash carrier, and why? I just remember getting off that plane. It was I officially moved to Haiti. This was it. This was the time I was. Oh my God, I was done with America. You know, and I'm starting the new crush of my life where all in on Haiti, about to start a business, about to start SeeJeanty Media. And this man, okay, this driver slash carrier, was the one that came to pick me up. He was my first personal real contact when I moved to Haiti. Right, older guy, cool guy. So again, when I think of my first time in Haiti, of course I was in Haiti lots of times before, but the first moving there, it was this guy who came to pick me up. And throughout my initial period in Haiti, before I got a car, as I was really getting my legs under me in terms of directions and where to go and where things were happening, where things are, it was this individual who took me everywhere. When he finished taking care of what he had to take care of for my cousin, he would schedule time. He would drive me to the store, find out what the store is, drive me to different appointments. It didn't last too long because very quickly I realized, okay, if I'm going to be independent in Haiti, I'm going to need my own vehicle. I'm going to need a driver license. I knocked those things out real quick and very quickly. And to this day, I had beat up little Chevy Suzuki. It was Chevy Tracker. And it rolled out to me for at least 2-3 years before it died. Just blew up, on wood flat one day, and we just had to completely trash it. And even for my business, I had to lean on him when I had to hire a driver slash carrier for my business, because I trusted him so much. I would interview those positions, and then I would have them go out with him and drive around, and he'd come back and say, yeah, this guy's great. No, this guy can't even, doesn't even know how to turn the key in the engine. No, hire him, right? So I depended on him very much. And in fact, one of the folks he recommended me to hire to this day has been promoted to the level of director for one of my businesses, and is one of the key pivotal people for my Haiti side operation, and allows me to, I can be in Haiti, I can not be in Haiti, because of the judgment that he had, right? So I want to really spend my time and lay out how much respect, admiration, what this person meant to me. About 2 years ago, this individual unfortunately suffered a stroke. Okay, he suffered a stroke and went to the hospital, and they treated him as best they could, but he was really much, again, he was an older guy. I mean, again, we're talking about the driver carrier, okay? Just make sure we're on point here. And he was released from the hospital, right? Terrible state. My cousin was telling me how she personally drove him from the hospital back to his home. His home was in Bel Air, right? How he was in really a confused state, right? And probably if he was in America, he maybe wouldn't have been released. Very high chance. He was very much in a confused state from that stroke, right? And very much not moving. It's dropped her home. And in fact, there were some conversations about having him leave from the Bel Air area, because as anyone knows, Bel Air will know that Bel Air isn't one of the better areas. It's very close to La Saline, it's very close to Cité Soleil. It's in La Ville, but on the frontier of La Ville of really civilization and the gang territory, especially at that time, right? It could have been 2 days later. Jimmy Cherise's gang, okay, G9, his personal militia, invaded, and you gotta use these terms, right? You can't, beat around the bush in the language we used, right? Military force going into an area of unarmed, mostly unarmed civilians, right, in the Bel Air area, with the intention of taking over the Bel Air area. And this is one of the earliest instances of what we see so very common today, where you have these gangs taking over areas and folks fleeing those areas. This sort of internal exodus is a term for that. Folks leaving conflict areas, right? This internal thing happening in Haiti. They entered and they started indiscriminately killing and burning homes. Again, this is Jimmy Cherise's gang. The quote unquote revolutionary is doing this to other Haitians. His troops, they're doing this to other Haitians that have nothing to do with anything of the agenda, any of the politics, anything. It's strictly a grab for more territory and more influence so they could push back and get more from the government when the government is trying to push something and willing to negotiate. And this happened time and time again, let's be clear. And during that invasion of the Bel Air neighborhood, that done by the Jimmy Cherise gang, this driver, this carrier, this good friend, who was in his home was set afire. His wife, his kids were able to flee the home. All right. And he was not able to. He was in a state of confusion. His body was, anyone who suffered a stroke will tell you, you can't really move, right? And so he wasn't able to get out of the second story window where everyone else in his family escaped. In fact, his son really tried to get back in there, but by then the fire was too much. And it pains me to say this, I'm going to fight back a tear, that this person I highly respected was burned alive in his home. And what really bothers me is that I actually saw his corpse. Haitians have, very little, Haitian WhatsApp is a hell of a place. And whatever you want to see, you'll find in Haitian WhatsApp. And I didn't even realize this until maybe a few hours after I saw a corpse in a home on a bed, a fully charred body. And and I do apologize if there's kids watching. I do apologize for the vividness of which I'm describing things. I apologize, but it's important that I explain this when folks are trying to revolutionize a terrorist. Okay. I saw his charred corpse of a body, a man that I used to sit across the table with, share meals with. Guy used to sit next to me in a vehicle as we drove around Port-au-Prince and Pitchonville and everywhere in between, right, in the metro area. Someone who I knew very well, good man, never did anybody harm. To see his charred corpse because of Jimmy Cherise. So and there's a lot of different folks who will share similar stories, right? This man is not a hero. He is a terrorist who deserves to be arrested at best and executed in the worst heinous manner at worst. Right? But he does not deserve to be on the same territory as us, Haitians living in Haiti. So whenever you see anybody speaking well of him, remember that story. Remember who this person really is, right? He is not a hero. He is a terrorist. He is Osama bin Laden, right? He is someone who has gained notoriety by doing the worst possible things to his fellow Haitians. and should not be respected. And anyone who puts him on a platform, you need to question them. At best, they're naive. At worst, they have a specific mission to put a heinous individual in position of power to serve to serve their own interests. So I went on a bit of a tangent there, and it's important that I explored that. But the point of that tangent beforehand was Jimmy Cherize did announce that they're going to fight, and then there's others that have announced that they were going to fight, even though there was a quote unquote brief peace, right? Quote unquote a brief peace, but announced peace. But right away, we had Izo go up into La Plaine and do a massacre where there was almost 12 Haitians killed in retribution to what they felt was a shipment of guns and ammo being hijacked or taken. This is a bit rumors, but close enough to confirm to where I can repeat it. And they went up there, for vengeance. Fortunately, the police did respond. Fortunately, the police did kill several of these gang members who were providing chaos in the Central Plateau. And with help though of the citizenry, right? Let's be clear on that. Right? The citizenry worked together with the police to find, track, and kill these heinous terrorists, right? But this is kind of where we are, right? Even yesterday, I was reading reports of another gang in Latibonite, doing very heinous acts, amongst the citizenry up there. So that ultimately is the update when it comes to Kenya. And the next conversation point we're going to have is what comes after this, right? When I say when the troops here, what the expectations are, what can we expect, right? And let's talk about that, since the Canal is a very different conversation point, which would be my next topic, right? So what we can expect is, it's the best way to understand where we're going is to look at where we were, right? Where we've been in prior, if there's prior experiences that we can draw from similar to what we're going into. And this isn't the first intervention, right? This is easily the third or fourth since 1990, right? Depending on how you want to chop up the MINUSTA missions, right? Third or fourth. And in each case, the cold hard reality is, for those who had experience during those interventions, the widely accepted understanding is those interventions and those troops on the ground were wildly ineffective in quelling, because there were some gang violence then, right? Certainly not at the point it is right now, where these guys have military grade, weaponry in the tens of thousands. I mean, they had some long, you say that machete long, right? They had some big guns, but not with the level of quantity and without the level of variety, and certainly without the amount of ammo as we have today. And even then, with a much larger force, a legitimate military force, right? It wasn't until the government at the time under Lamotte did things such as buy weaponry from other sources, did things such as reinforce what they already had in terms of Humvees and military bulletproof vests, right? It wasn't until they allocated to significantly hire more police officers, right? And do things such as incentivize the gangs to put their guns down for a version of amnesty, right? And then after a date, there wouldn't be none, right? I mean, it took, believe it or not, and this is what folks don't want, um, folks don't want you to realize, is that it wasn't until the Haitian government made a conscious effort to improve the security situation that the security situation improved. The UN were very ineffective during their initial time there, and it was the police that did it. A lot of folks who hit me up, folks who you know, I I'm on Twitter from time to time. I drop things. I don't go back and forth. Like, you know, folks, you know, want my perspective. You know, I share it every Sunday, or come into the WhatsApp channel. I'll gladly, you know, give you my 2 cents. Because my time, I have to spend it wisely, right? Just doing random Twitter arguments is something somehow Elon Musk can afford to do as a billionaire, but I certainly can't, right? When I expressed that effectively we are able to solve our own issue, and the response is always this: well, what's the alternative? If the UN doesn't come, what's the alternative, right? We've shown we have the willingness to solve our own issue. Wakale has shown us that. We lack the resources. And one thing that's bothered me very much, actually, with this resolution is that folks don't realize that it reinforces a gun embargo, right, across the country. And you can say, yeah, that's a good thing, you know, and honestly, embargo or not, we've had an embargo from the United States that has been since the 90s, and 99% of the guns are coming from the United States. And so the embargo status really hasn't helped. It's only what it's actually, it's hurting tremendously, because it puts layers of bureaucratical bureaucracy between the police and the military to be able to obtain guns legally. Meanwhile, the gangsters, as we see, are able to get guns, no issue, no problem, willy nilly, cool, as easy as, you know, calling up Domino's, ordering up a large deep dish, cheese on the crust, double pepperoni, easy on the tomato sauce, some crispy spinach, some little bit of Parmesan. Don't forget the flakes. Don't forget the flakes. I gotta have my flakes, right? As easy as that. I hate to say when the Republicans are right, right? You're disarming the good guys while allowing the bad guys, who are always going to get the guns anyways, to run amok. And the UN resolution that just authorized the intervention added another embargo, right? Listen, I got no issues with embargoes, but we got to make sure that the police and the army get expedited treatment to getting guns, and that hasn't changed. Even today, it's a misery for the police to get the weaponry they need to support themselves, and that's a problem. So my point in sharing all this is that the UN, or this force coming in, will only be as effective as the capacity of the police to be able to engage. And the question we have to ask ourselves, you have to ask yourself, is does Ariel Henry, the current prime minister, is going to ride this out for God knows how many years, right? Get used to saying that name, right? That's a conversation for another day. You know, what we believe Ariel Henry is going to be and how long he's going to be there. You know, do we believe he has the willingness, the capacity, the ability to inspire folks to engage in attack, right? Does he have the earnestness in really trying to tackle this problem after? Because obviously he hasn't done it now. Will he have it afterwards, when one can argue the sooner this issue with the insecurity is solved, the sooner he's out of power, right? Because why can't he hold election, guys? Why can't he hold elections? Can't hold elections. It's not safe. It's insecure. Folks can't go out and vote. Can't do that. You follow me? Right? You're asking the doctor, and he is a doctor, ironically, so this is a double entendre. So you're asking a doctor to solve the sick, right? To cure the sick, even though the moment the sick is cured, he's out of a job. Do you understand? Do you understand the situation we're in? You're asking the doctor to cure the sick. That same doctor, the moment the sick is cured, he's out of a job. So what's his incentive? Is it to keep him sick? So from a perception perspective, okay, we can expect Haiti to look safer with these foreign troops on the ground. And one can argue, right, perception is reality. Right? One can argue perception is reality. Right? And thus, you coming into Haiti after intervention, and I wouldn't advise you guys to go to Haiti, like the Monday after the intervention. I'd say you let this run out for a few months before you really start putting that in your plans, right? And I say Haiti, by the way, Cap Haitian's fine. Even right now, you can go to Cap Haitian, have a great time, enjoy the country just as you would as if it was 2017, right? I want to be clear. Port-au-Prince. Sometimes I make that mistake. A lot of us make that mistake. We say Haiti when we're actually talking about Port-au-Prince. Unfortunately, Port-au-Prince isn't all of Haiti, right? And sometimes even I make that mistake when I'm talking. So excuse me if I do that when I do. Right? I'd be very careful in terms of going to Port-au-Prince right after the intervention. Okay, let's be clear. Okay. What are the opportunities that exist? What can we do? How can we expect to move? I tell you what, right now, anyone who has property in Haiti, because understand these police officers / troops coming in, there's so many of the actual actors, police forces that are coming in, but then there's a whole, for every one actual quote unquote soldier, there's a consultant. There's a consultant for the consultant. There's an official. Depending on the seniority, even some family may come, right? If not permanently to visit, right? For every 1,000, there's thousands of support staff and those associated with that activity also coming to Haiti. They need a place to live, right? They need a place to be. You understand? If you have a home in Haiti, where that can be rented out, either for a short-term Airbnb or long-term 6-month, 1-year lease, you're about to cash in. We're talking, in a country where the median income for Haitian is $2 a day, you're going to be able to get $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in rent, right? Listen, I may be saying it in a way that is condescending, maybe. I'm not trying to be that. I'm just telling you the reality. I'm telling you the reality is you can make a lot of money if you have real estate right now, right? Because, and not just in Port-au-Prince, but these guys are going to be deployed across the country, right? And so wherever you are across the country, you're going to have an incredible opportunity to charge. Yeah, these guys don't, they're not paying for it. Listen, we have, there's an earmark of $400 million. I'm going to say it again, $400 million per year, per annum. Per annum. Okay. For this. They care about a $5,000, $10,000 lease agreement. That's less than 0.00000001% of the budget. Come on, man. Come on, man. Is I connected to that's why it's so hard to get housing. Yeah, it's gonna be real hard. That's one consequence. It's gonna be mighty expensive to get housing. You know, if it's not a cousin or something that's gonna hook you up with a bedroom, it could be pretty tricky, especially after an intervention happens. Okay, but if you have housing though, cash in. I ain't hating the player. We can hate the game, but I ain't hating the player. You know, and if you're in a position to play that game, play it. Play it. Right? Use those funds to do something good, something positive. You know what I mean? So those in those positions looking to do great, those who think about, quite frankly, what these people, where they're coming from, what they're going to need. Okay? And what that ecosystem is going to necessitate. It's going to necessitate car parts, right? It's going to necessitate, food from different countries that may not be currently available in Haiti, right? Even simple things like cardboard boxes to package and move things around, just simple things, out the box things, right? There's going to be a necessity for them, right? I'm not necessarily saying, go out your way to support this obvious thing. I'm not for per se. You understand what I'm for our domestic forces to take care of this, remove this leader who has all the incentives for this to continue, right? And put someone who doesn't have those incentives, right? I'm not advocating for this, but what I am advocating is I need you guys to become so wildly successful, okay, that because of your legitimate patriotism that regrettably most of our leaders don't have, can then drive the narrative in a way, not the narrative, that the activity, the direction of the country in a way that we can move more in line and more appropriate for what's best for the country. But you gotta get successful first, right? And so think about that. Think about what can be taken advantage of in this period, so you can gain that level of success, right? I'm gonna do something that, again, it's not a plug. I wrote this book for a reason. 101 ways. I'm not even, I promise I'm not plugging. I just want to refresh myself. See the different ideas in this specific period that could be advantageous, right? Recreational offerings. This is idea number 5 from the book. Idea number 5 from the book. I'm just reading the table of contents. I'm not going any deeper than that. Recreational offerings under the entertainment segment. Something that is going to have opportunities, right? Waste collection. There's going to be opportunities there, right? I mean, there's opportunities there even now, but especially, don't forget one issue that occurred with the last deployment was cholera, right? Cholera. Right? I'm not telling you guys to go pick up shit, excuse the French, but just keep in mind there's opportunities there, and the consequences have, if it can be done and done appropriately, are massive in terms of the health of our population, right? recyclables, right? A lot of good ideas here. I'm trying to look at things that really have a very one-to-one impact. A lot of good ideas here. Right? In general, food and beverage, right? I did mention that already. You know, food and beverage, you should certainly take advantage of. Be careful though. Very careful in the importation game in Haiti. You don't want to step on the toes of a gun egg. I'll tell you that right now. If it's already in the market, be careful. Be careful, Zamim. Be careful. Look for stuff that aren't in the market. You hear me? Let's be clear. That's all I'm going to say about it. Okay? Sanitation, clean stuff, soaps, detergents, right? So an opportunity there, an opportunity to make it domestically, right? To make it domestically, right? Child care. There was a uptick in children from these military men, miles and miles away from their wives and girlfriends. I'm being a little facetious here, but you understand what I'm saying, right? Child care. See what else we got here. Vehicles, right? I don't know how much these soldiers are allowed to, what to do and where to go on their own time, but chances are they're going to be using the corporate vehicles, the military vehicles most likely get around. So maybe that won't be as weird, but just logistics services, right? You know, by having a truck, being able to move things left and right around the country, there's going to be value in that, right? Okay. How many ideas I just gave you out there? Am I on 10 yet? Am I on 10 yet? Am I on 10? Talk to me. Right? You never go wrong with technology. You know, bringing in phones, computers, things of that sort. Never go wrong with that. Always a deficiency in those things, even for the population as a whole. Right? Courier services might do very well in this new era. Right? Courier services might do very well in this new era. Right? Things supporting construction can do very well. Right? You know, things, because there's gonna be a lot of construction, temporary and otherwise. Right? So anything that support construction, from block building to actual tools, I mean, you name it. You understand? Right? And so just like that, I just gave down a couple different ideas. Right? Those are really looking. I'm not trying to plug, but it's here, it's written, can be pretty useful for this upcoming period. I'm just saying. I'm looking at the lens of what's potential. Check the books on Amazon right now. Just type that name in different ways. Right? But that's how we got to be thinking about this, guys. We got to be thinking about this from the perspective of how can we benefit. It's really important. Really important. And that's the winning play. Before I move on to the next subject, let me go into the chat and see what you guys think about everything I just said. All right. Let me go through the chat and see what you guys are saying before I move on to the next topic. All right. And my goodness, I said it was going to be a short live. It's already an hour 13. So let me go through the chat. Then we'll do the final topic and then we'll call it. Right. I got to keep my word once. When I say we're going to have a short live, and it's short for once. Let's see. LF, good morning. We're doing good. I already said what's up to Reginald. What's up? Elena, doesn't Spain own DR? Why is Spain so interested in care for Haiti? Actually, Spain doesn't own DR. Spain, I mean, I think there's more. I think, ironically, I think Russia has done more investment in recent years than Spain has, probably within the entirety of you know DR has been around. I think the Dominican probably tell you better than that, but I don't know if Elena is being facetious or not there. But Spain does not own DR. You know, the solution is to equip the Haitian military for launch. I agree with you there, Chris. We provide shelter for our people so they don't get caught in what's coming. Good question. The collateral damage is what Chris is alluding to, right? That first bullet that hits Madame Sega from the guns of UN Kenyan force. What happens then? Right? What happens then? And it's going to happen. Collateral damage is a thing. Right? Have you heard about the illnesses going around the schools in Kenya? I haven't heard. But I can expect that, moving one context to another, there is going to be, them bringing some sickness over there. And honestly, there's some sicknesses that we're going to give them. How are they going to cope? You understand? Heard Kenya ranks number 11 on AIDS. Those diseases can spread. You know what? That's a legitimate concern. I'd have to take a look at the rankings to substantiate that, right? But there is going to be an uptick on STIs because on the last intervention, again, there was a lot of hanky-panky going on between soldiers and the local population. That's been well reported. It's been well reported. Google it. Right? All legitimate concerns. Pour qui ça, les hommes pas qu'à vivre en paix. Right? Great comment. Yeah. There's clinics and hospitals, but their capacity is limited. Right? Their capacities are limited. Right? I don't know what Canal is trying to say here. Whenever you may think of human rights, I mean, it's when multiple news sources report on a massacre, my friend. I don't quite understand your question, right? A massacre is a massacre. I'm not these human rights, quote unquote, proponents. My opinion of them are complicated, right? Because of the fact that, for example, when you look at El Salvador and the incredible work that Bukele is doing, right? He is locking up prisoners, taking out those elements out the society. There will be a process to analyze and ensure that innocent folks aren't being in there. But for right now, there's an emergency. Create a jail, putting known and suspected criminals there, and the murder rate, crime rate, the capacity for people to live drop down considerably. But you have these human rightists. No, that's not their term, but crying foul, crying the human rights of these murderers and terrorists are being trodden on. Are you kidding me? What about the regular citizens? Where were you when the regular citizens were paying just to leave the front door, paying bribes? I'm not even talking about business. I'm talking about just regular citizens trying to get to work, paying bribes to gangs and having their kids recruited to be in gangs, unwillingly, et cetera, et cetera. Where were you then? So my relationship with human rights proponents, quote unquote, are very, very complicated. They tend to put individual liberty above the well-being of the society as a whole, and I don't think that's appropriate in circumstances like ours, unfortunately. there will be some individual liberties restricted, so the society as a whole can function. Everything's the limit, everything in moderation, right? But that's my perspective, and I think a lot of folks share that perspective, right? I don't know if what Ken was trying to get was that, but the private WhatsApp group is SeeJeanty.com/private WhatsApp group. I will share it again towards the end of the stream. Hope to see you in there later. Okay. You go to SeeJeanty.com and go into contact us. You'll see it. SeeJeanty.com, and then contact us, and you see that as an option there. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Chris saying something like this, right? You know, we're not known for well. To be fair, Chris, there's precedent, right? You know, depends how you define gang activity. Depends how you define gang activity. Depending on how you define it, you can say the Tonto Makuts was a gang. It was a gang supported by the government of the time, which is the Duvaliers. Right? They were outside of the justice system and could do whatever they wanted. Right? And then under Aristide with the Chimares, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, right? You had a populist group that was armed, certainly I don't think as well armed as we have today, but they were armed enough. They had guns, right? And would very often take matters in their own hands and were a scourge to the society at the time. Fortunately, it didn't last as long as this. It wasn't as widespread necessarily as this, right? And the state apparatus wasn't as well. It was weak because we had an intervention even then, but it just certainly this feels a bit more raw in this day and age to have it. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is the first time ever. Let's be clear, right? But again, it depends on how you're defining it, right? And in the current state of what this is, you know, and again, you know, both cases, both instances were state actors doing this. I think it's understood in many conversations we've had so far that these gangs similarly have patuos, right? It's something about Haitian leaders' doors we don't know yet. We had breaks. I don't quite know what you mean there, my friend. We've had breaks. The embargo has helps the gangs. I certainly agree with you there. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, they deal, Chris, you know, they deal it the way you can expect. They're arming themselves. You know, they arm the militaries of the security forces of those countries are able to arm themselves and fight back, right? But usually does require an erasure, a voting in of a new government with folks who run on campaigns and are committed to removing the gangs. And right now we don't have that. Right? We have folks who are in power with incentives to, you know, at worst, go as slow as possible. Right? Good morning, Bebe. Good morning. Those who know. Those who know. Has it? I gotta look that up. I don't know. I think there's places in the Congo and Africa maybe that could give Haiti a good run for its money. I don't know. Conversation back and forth I'm seeing, which is good. And then asking, would it be safe to travel when there's? I mean, as I mentioned, it's not necessarily the UN troops that's going to make it safe. It's going to be the willingness of the police to engage. All right. All right. Mm-hmm. If I ever say the military, understand, I do mean the Kenyan police. It's a Kenyan police force that is. And by the way, I forgot to mention that there's been some pushback in Kenya. There's been some real pushback in Kenya, right? And there's members of parliament in Kenya that are saying, hey, you can't do this sort of foreign meddling without parliament approval. The Kenyan government is responding and saying that, no, well, the situation actually is that this is a police force, so it's not the military. The military isn't going out to do a foreign mission, so it doesn't need parliament approval. It's the police. The police are doing, it's a police branch, which is fully within the rights and jurisdiction of the president, right? So you can see a loophole trying to be argued here, right? And so, is there still a chance for Kenya not to be able to do what they want to do? Kenya is supposedly a democracy. And in a democracy, the will of the people and the will of those elected to represent them are able to be expressed above the will and desire of one man. So there is real chance that we may see Kenya not be able to do what they want to do. We'll see. Right. Rod Jock has asked a real good question. How's the experience of Starlink? Has been great. Fantastic. Phenomenal. Highly recommended. Right. And I think things are only going to get better in this space. Amazon is about to very soon launch their Starlink product. And so competition is good. This competition is good, right? Especially when it comes to Haiti. You have even additional options. It's going to be really bad news for the local internet providers we've been suffering. Ironically, I found that the internet has gotten a lot better since Starlink has been in Haiti. Surprised how that works. Once there's real competition, the internet in Haiti suddenly stops being a total, complete misery and cluster. Funny how that works. That things don't change by themselves. It takes the appropriate incentives for them to change, right? Funny how that works. Haiti is not perfect. You gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. These interventions and opening our doors, and the governments like Ariel Henry is saying, hey, we need help. We can't do it. Gotta be careful. We're setting a precedent to lose the capacity to be sovereign and govern ourselves. Right? That's an important comment you just wrote there. Well, Haiti is really doing its own thing right now. It's really doing its own thing right now. Right? Right? Well, this isn't true. One of the largest real estate holders right now for the Dominican Republic are Haitians, actually. Believe it or not. Haitians have a very large role in real estate in DR, both in terms of ownership and also especially rentals, right? Um, a lot of folks understand that if Haitians were to stop doing either, the real estate in DR would significantly be affected, right? So, and when I say Haitians, Haitian bourgeois, with the money who can't really do activity like they want to do in Haiti, so they go on the DR to make moves. Can I fault them? How insecure and how upside down Port-au-Prince in particular has gotten? That's a conversation for another life. That's a conversation for another life. There's levels to it. There's layers to break down, right? Right. Certainly, I think this is a fantastic suggestion, right? An organization to invest and develop, right? Is that something that might be coming available for the SeeJeanty audience? Maybe. And we already proved it can work, right? Hyper distribution that you're seeing here, you raise $130,000. No, more. I'm sorry, 140-ish, right? And we're doing well. We're a multi-million-dollar organization, doing well, right? So the precedent has been set. Is there going to be another opportunity to do a specific investment fund to do other projects? Stay tuned. Always check in, come on the lives. Stay part of the conversation. For now, lower closed. Right. I always say if an investment opportunity never closes, it's probably a Ponzi scheme runaway. if what they're building can't be sustained by the funds of that thing, at some point, it's a Ponzi scheme runaway. Really great conversations we're having here. Really great conversations I'm seeing. A lot of back and forth. I love it. I love it. Ken is saying we're naive. Arguing Ken is even more corrupt than us. I don't know. At this point, they have their approval. They're coming. Like Deion Sanders, they're coming. Right. I love this comment. Honestly, you put me as president of Haiti. First off, don't ever wish that to me. But you make me president of Haiti. It's probably one of the first things I do, and is move the capital. Probably move the capital to its original site, which is near Marché des Salines, La Tibonite region. Right, move it right up there. Just really and really focus on decentralizing our country. Right, allowing each department to really become their own autonomous region. We need that for Haiti to really thrive. So thanks for the comments. Really great stuff. Really great stuff. Right, really great stuff. Thanks for the comments. Let me skim through IG real quick, see if there's anything in IG. Like, I don't want to neglect IG. I don't want to neglect IG. My IG, by the way, is right next to the camera on YouTube, so that's why it seems I'm reaching out to the void. I just want to see. Morning on what's updates on what's going on in Jacmel. I am unaware of what's happening in Jacmel. I'm hearing you can't go there because you can't go there because the roads to Matissa are blocked, right? And what's really tricky is there used to be flights, weekly flights, daily flights, I think, from a different company called MAF. They've been on pause. They're supposed to restart operations early next year, but they're supposed to be on pause. So it has been really difficult to get to Jacmel without the roads or the air. But in fact, I'm aware that a lot of folks they were using Dominican Republic. They were flying into Dominican Republic and then crossing through the very south of Haiti to get to Jacmel, which is very sad. And that has been cut off because of the border closure, right? And so, I can only imagine Jacmel being pretty difficult to get to right now, but I'm not aware of any more information, as relates to that. But that's been a state of affairs, a state of fact for Jacmel for quite some time, regrettably. Sorry to say. It was just a shame because Jacmel was such a beautiful touristic town, one of my favorite towns to visit and be a part of when I'm in Haiti, So amazing. Coming from America, it's very hard to get contacts in Haiti for the move, right? Let's enjoy the SeeJeanty WhatsApp channel. That's what it's there for. It's just to get contacts, and support what we got going on here. So think about it. SeeJeanty.com. Contact us, right? Hate the plug, but it's there. We have a service, and it helps the show. So it's a win-win for everybody involved. Right? The government has nothing to do with the actions. I think I went through the details of that. Right. All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see what Just Journey is saying. I don't think I missed my words. Zach accusing me of not being as transparent as I could be as it relates to criticizing the Haitian government because of my businesses, and I don't think anyone watching me should get that. I think I'm pretty critical of the Haitian government. Now, I'm not gonna go as far into the. I mean, even if I don't say anything that isn't substantiated. It's not. If it's not substantiated by independent sources, I'm not gonna go around just being InfoWars and spreading conspiracies. Right, first off, I think if you're watching Haitian media right now, there's people suing other people and winning in court for defamation. You understand? And so, just going out the cuff and just saying stuff because it can get you views and clicks isn't a smart thing to do for many reasons. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you, man. I think that isn't my my modus operandi. I am not favorable of the government currently, and I'm very clear with that. Right? So, right. Mm-hmm. Just looking over, just reading the comments. Dump sites. Okay. Yeah, that's the government activity. It took like years, almost a decade, for OCOP to get it's an official international level garbage site, which is very sad. It just speaks to the land right issues that exist in Haiti. But no, you can't just open up a dump site, unfortunately. There's an entire process with governments involved, with land, and so it's not that easy, right? On the dump site idea that I'm aware of. You know what I mean? Too much confidence being placed on the canal that's being built would actually provide enough water. I disagree. I don't think there's too much confidence. I don't think so. I think this is an incredible movement that we should jump on top of, use it to push us forward, and see where it can take us. Right? We've been so marred with negativity. I think rightly so. I think a lot of Haitians might be afraid to feel positive, right? But I think we shouldn't. I think we should certainly lean into this and use it as fuel to get change, hopefully permanent change, in the situation of the country, right? So let's talk about the last update I want to give, right? And thanks for the comments. So comments, I appreciate the comments. Thank you guys. Those who I didn't read, I didn't read out loud. I did look at them. So don't think they're unread. So thank you. Is the canal update on the canal, right? Abiy Daner has declared that he does intend to ease the border restrictions, and he's using the fact that the new canal that he's opening basically right across from the one we're building, with a pump, by the way, which will indeed be diverting water. And because it's diverting water, he's okay with opening the border for commerce only. You know, he's keeping very hard restrictions on visas and the travel of Haitians, right? So they want our money, they want our activity, but y'all stay the hell out of their country. Good luck with that. So because so much of their agriculture and their construction sector are executed by Haitians. So we'll see who they try to import in to do that work. Good luck, Godspeed to you. Especially as we mentioned, the real estate is heavily supported by Haitians, especially the rental part of it. Good luck with that, Abiy Daner. They've also been looking to build out other places to export to. They've been in talks with at least 10 other countries to provide a larger supply chain to sell to, right? Contraband has gone up tremendously during this period, right? Which has been reported. The canal itself is going to require about 800,000. Estimates have 800,000 to complete, but it's about 70% complete. I'm sure that this figure, which is maybe about a week and a half old, I want to say we've probably cumulatively across all the people who've donated to all the different places they've donated, I would not be surprised if we've crossed that threshold already. It's already moving. It's already moving forward. Right. Those who are interested in finding out what the plan is, right, for the canal, I do recommend you go watch. I just have a video now with one of the leaders of the canal, and one of the organizations that have from day one been very much involved and very much a part of the canal. Do watch that interview, and I do have a much deeper conversation coming. So do check that out. Right. But as we speak to you now, the canal hasn't stopped. The canal has been pushing forward. A lot of respect to the folks who've gone to the site, who've visited, who've been a part of the of exposing this to the larger society and the work that's been done. Much respect. Even myself, I intend to be in Haiti in a couple months, and I gotta figure out whatever it costs. I gotta get there with my team, to provide a direct SeeJeanty exposition on what's happening. So expect that, right? But the canal is moving forward. We had a lot of different individuals, from Claude Joseph to a lot of artists to even Pastor Gregory, Pastor Gregory, who had that incredible movement, that march across the world. Was there as well, and he's expressed that they've given material and funds and etc. to the canal, right? So the canal continues. Very soon, the border restriction is going to be removed. There is a humanitarian aspect that a lot of humanitarian activity has been displaced. The headquarters and the movement activity has been displaced from Haiti to Dominican Republic for Haiti. And so with this closure, a good amount of humanitarian work has been suspended. And so it's really important from that perspective. Once that opens back up, the humanitarian flow of aid is going to be able to resume. Though I'm not as you know, I'm not a big fan of humanitarian work, but they do save lives in the temporary. And so you can't discount that. And that's going to resume, right? So I mean, that's the quick update. I just want to give a quick update, because we've been at this for a bit of time, right? And just want to give a quick update on that. I'm just looking to see if there's any questions, right? Yeah. And so what's going on here is they're building a what they claim is that, well, they're making one argument saying that, well, this canal is going to divert so much water, it's going to affect the folks downstream. And furthermore, it doesn't fit proper engineering. And when there's a big rainfall, it's going to cause a pseudo bottleneck that's going to divulge or indulge or flood the area around, right, and cause a lot of other issues. And so what they're going to do is they're going to build a separate canal with the purpose of, when the floods do happen, they're doing us a favor by building a separate canal with a pump, so as the water potentially could flood us, they could more aggressively pump water towards this other canal that is properly built per the geological engineering survey. God bless the Dominicans. They're so friendly. They're looking out so much for us. That's one argument they're making. The second argument, of course, is that this canal is also going to support a lot of the downstream farmers of Dominicans who are losing out on the water because of so much that's going to be going through our canal during the lower seasons as well, right? So those are the very competing arguments that the Dominicans are using for this canal. That's where we are. I'll let you tell me if you believe it. But that's the argument they're making. Okay. Even though this canal, we talked about this we will talk about this. They've had commissions with Haitians and Dominicans on it, and they've both concluded this canal will not affect the flow of the river jointly. Here we are right now. En tout cas, that was our show. I want to thank you for being a part of it. Those who came in late, we had a very large, expansive conversation. Do go back and watch it. I think you appreciate it. We'll be back next Sunday, God willing, with more updates of what's happened, analysis, more of your feedback, more of this conversation to continue. I want you guys to remember to visit Hypro. I'll just drop the link to Amazon. A lot of our products that are available, you'll be able to catch that there. So do check those out. A lot of really interesting things that you can buy 100% out of Haiti, right? Do also check out SeeJeanty.com shop. SeeJeanty.com shop. You'll check out our book, right? That we went over some of my really interesting ideas. The private WhatsApp group as well. Let me go and just copy paste that as well. Copy and paste that. I do look forward to seeing some of you guys in there. We're in there providing assistance, help, and conversation, connections, the whole nine, for a very low fee to support what we have going on here, the team and all the activities that we got going on here. For example, just brought a brand new $3,000 camera, and not even talking about the lens, right? 4K lens, you know what I mean? All that costs moolah. So your funds go to support that, and you get a lot back for your support, right? And of course, hyperdistribution.com. We're doing some fantastic things, bringing stuff up at the container level, and I do appreciate everyone who gets a chance to reach out. You see what we're doing, and those who could or want to be a wholesale vendor, do let us know, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. All right. So that's our show. Thank you so much. We'll be back next Sunday. In the meantime, keep yourself informed. Keep the conversations going. Don't be discouraged. Haiti will find a way out of this, I promise you. And we'll be back at it again when we're back at it again.